So we're going to look at the beginning of Chanson. Now we need to keep our B flats and our E flats, but we need to cancel our A flats. And the way we do that is to put up our A levers. And as with learning any tunes, it's a good idea to listen to the recording of the full piece as well, so that you get a sense of how it is as an overall piece of music. So I strongly suggest that you do that as well as listening to this video. So in terms of the right hand, so I think what we're going to do in this video is probably do the first 4 bars. Okay. So with the right hand, we're going to put the third finger on the B flat above middle C. Second finger goes next door and thumb goes next door. And just check your hand position, that you've got your thumb up and your fingers pointing down, and you want your elbow to be a little bit raised as if you were riding a bicycle, but don't do it to such an extent that it feels uncomfortable. You still need to have lovely soft shoulders. You don't want any stiffness there. Nice straight back and feet on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to play you the first 2 bars. Okay, so the rhythm is jello, blue, blue, two, blue. So these are all in a line, so that's quite easy for the jello, blue. And then our third finger goes to the F, and our thumb goes to the B string, so up to the B flat. And then we play the third finger. Before we play the thumb, the third finger needs to be back down onto the F that it just played. Then we can play the thumb, and then we can play the third finger again. So watch again. I could probably place it even earlier than that. So make sure that you've got that placing sorted out. Make sure that you've got a lovely hand position while you're doing it. Okay, the next little bit of right hand, going to put our thumb on the E flat, second finger next door, third finger next door. Now the placing here is quite complicated, but if you look at the brackets on the music, that's going to help you. So the notes that you see under a bracket, all of those notes have to be placed before the first one of those notes is played. So here under the bracket, we've got an E flat, a D and a C, and we've got written on the fingering 1, 2 and 3. So the 1, 2 and 3 all have to be placed before we play the thumb. It's not like we play the thumb and then we get the other ones ready, okay? And then if you see where that third finger is, there's an overlapping bracket. So that means that we can play the 1 and the 2, but we're not allowed to play the third finger yet because of this overlapping bracket that is showing us that we need to put the second finger and the thumb back on before we're allowed to play the third finger. So then we can play the third finger and the second finger, but when we get to the thumb, there's another overlapping bracket. And this time, in the next bracket, we've got to put our thumb, which we've already got, our second finger, our third finger, and our fourth finger We've got to put all of those on the strings before we're allowed to play the thumb. So we're going to put 2, 3 and 4 on, okay? And eventually you'll be able to put them on kind of together-ish, but definitely have them all on before the thumb starts playing, okay? And then we're allowed to come down. All right, so I'll just play you the whole of that line again. I'll do it nice and slow so you can maybe see what's happening with the placing. And then you just get a second finger on its own at the end on that B flat. Now in terms of the left hand, we've got what's called spread chords. So rather than playing the chord all at the same time, you spread the notes out and you spread them out from the bottom so that the lowest note will come first. And so we want 3, 2 and 1. And the notes are B flat at the bottom, miss a string, then D, miss a string, and then F. Okay. Yeah, so depending on how good you are at your spread chords, you can do them slower if you want to. And I tend to like to spread a chord and then have the right hand effectively be the end of the spread. So some people, and in some music, you'll want to start the spread at the same time that the right hand is starting the melody. But here, what I want here is for the spread to be sort of leading into the melody. So it's just sort of a little twiddle that leads to the melody starting, so that you'd play the whole of the left hand before the right hand starts. So I'll show you what I mean. You hear how the right hand sounds like it's sort of the end of the left hand chord. I didn't place that very well, did I? Let's try it again. That was better. I have my third finger ready well in advance. Okay, and then the next chord that you're going to get in the left hand, it's that same spacing, so third finger, second finger, and thumb. You're going to have your third finger on your F below middle C, miss a string, second finger on the A string, miss a string, and thumb on the C. And then just check that you've got a nice hand position with your thumb up and your fingers down. Okay, and that's going to come there. Okay, so that's in bar 3. And again, the left hand's going to sort of lead in and the right hand's going to finish off the chord. So we're going to get... And that final chord that I just played with the left hand, it was those same notes that we started on. So the left hand in this line is just got 2 different chords. So we have the B flat, D, F. Okay, and then later on we have the F,